Welcome inside the FOX Weather ROWI Report. We're focusing in on college football. It's going to be week 5, and we got some big heavyweight matches for you and some potential impacts with the weather. Of course, with us, we're focusing on everything. The rain, the wind, the heat, the humidity. It's all factored in. How the teams play, how the coaches kind of analyze their schematics and overall game plan. And overall, if you are betting on it for college football, what does that mean for your bets? We're going to dive deep into this week's matchup. The big game that we are watching weather-wise actually is going to take us down into areas like Winston-Salem, North Carolina. You got the Yellow Jackets, Georgia Tech, ranked number 16th, coming in to Wake Forest Demon Deacons. This is a big game, right? We're going to be talking about, of course, what could be happening in the Southeast and the Mid-Atlantic over the weekend. By the way, if you love weather and football, you're at the right spot right now. But if you love weather, it's kind of interesting at times. On the FOX Weather stream right now, we are talking a whole lot about what the Atlantic could do. Now, we're recording this on a Wednesday. We have two areas we want to watch, at Invest 94L, Invest 93L. If you're listening to this for the first time and say, what does that even mean? It means they want to investigate it a little bit further. I want you to investigate it a little bit further. Jump over on the stream and you can check it out on Fox. We'll dive into this game though and what it means for overall the players and the coaches, because what we're looking at is a precipitation impact almost completely at an 8 right now. It's a 7.9 with that wind impact and a temperature impact. Overall, this is a medium risk of weather impact. As we get closer, we're going to fine tune this, talk about the timing intensity. This could get to a high level, right? Because when we talk about these storms, if it's going to be a rain event throughout the entire game, that would play a bigger factor. As of right now, you're looking at lightning possible each and every quarter, each and every hour this game is played. Is kickoff at 12:30 p.m. Eastern in North Carolina, or 12, I should say, Eastern, North Carolina. So with that, you have the heat of the day. It's building, and why thunderstorms are possible. By the way, if lightning is within 8 miles of the stadium, that leads to a delay. And with that, it's a 30-minute delay guaranteed. And each time there's that lightning within 8 miles, they expand another 30 minutes. Why do we bring that up? Because when you're looking at a ranked matchup and you're the underdog and you're the Demon Deacons, you're almost hoping that it turns into a rain game or a lightning delay at least. Because with that, it favors the home team. You're in your home locker room. You feel a little bit more comfortable, of course. And you're the underdog, right? You're trying to break up the rhythm of the game. Georgia Tech, of course, is known for their ground and pound, their option attack, and everything that they can do. So rain is not going to be enough. You almost need the lightning to break up the rhythm of the game if you're Wake Forest. I still think even with that, the Yellow Jackets handle business. There's a reason why they're the ranked team here. Let's get into other games that are, big. As you take a look, I'm a massive FSU Seminole fan, of course, and what we're looking at here is another ranked matchup. This is going to be in Charlottesville, Virginia. So as a top 10 team comes in to take on the Cavaliers, what can they expect, of course, when they head to a beautiful portion of the country? I love Charlottesville. It's nestled into the western or the eastern slopes of the Appalachian Range. It's beautiful, but it's not going to be enough to waver with FSU and the Seminoles. They've been looking great. It's a low risk of weather impact. Precipitation impact is still a question mark. There are an outside chance that some of these storms move in, but this is a Friday game, 7 p.m. Eastern. I think this actually is before the fronts actually start to arrive at Scott Stadium. So overall, what we're looking at is cloudy conditions. Couldn't ask better. Kickoff, mid-70s, and then dipping into the lower 60s. Notice the wind is actually calm, so not even impacting the special teams. I think you have, for FSU, of course, your new quarterback. He's been looking great. Tommy, I think this is going to be looking great for him to build his resume and, of course, to build that momentum as we take on the U next week after that. I think that would be the biggest concern if you're an FSU fan and a Seminole fan. Are they looking ahead? Or are they taking this game seriously? But weather-wise, there are no concerns. Let's get into the next game. This is another ranked one. And by the way, TCU, the Horned Frogs out of Texas, they're used to the heat. but they're used to the humidity with it. Now they're going to Arizona State and into the Sun Devils territory at Mountain America Stadium in Tempe, Arizona, 9 p.m. Eastern. That is one favoring or aspect of this that actually limits the temperature impact, because local time, you're now moving into the evening game and you're not in the heart of the day. So the risk of weather impact is relatively low. We've talked about the monsoon season, especially for Tucson. It's been impressive. By the way, bringing it all the way back to week 1. I know we're at week 5. Arizona State, they had a haboob that went right over their stadium just days before opening kickoff. And so what we're looking at right now is the monsoonal season. Not as active. All the storms have been situated into areas like California because of the remnants of Mario and Invest 96L, those spots. We're not worried about it with this. Look at this. Since it's deep into the day and it's dry, remember, this is a dry heat, which means once you get out of the heat of the day and the shadows start to build, you actually drop those temperatures quickly. You're into the lower 80s throughout this entire game. If you were a TCU Horned Frog player, coach, or fan, you are absolutely loving this forecast for the game. All right, let's keep it pushing. Let's keep it moving. We got USC going to the Fighting Illini in middle of Illinois, right? You got Champaign, Illinois, Champaign-Urbana, where, again, great dynamics. This is a ranked matchup, 21 taking on 23. If you're a fan of football, you almost don't even want a weather impact on this one. And guess what? You're not getting it. Look how low the risk of weather impact is for this one, a 1.2. So you're not worried about the rain, the wind, or the temperatures. This is perfect fall-like conditions Saturday afternoon in Memorial Stadium. As we take a look at the overall temperatures, you're talking upper 70s, lower 80s, pure sunshine throughout, with a low kind of wind impact. So whether you're throwing it, running it, or you're kicking it, you're putting numbers, your scoreboard, you're chalking it up. This is looking like a great setup. The coaches, by the way, they're opening up the entire playbook for this one. Let's talk more about what's going to happen in Oxford, Mississippi, as the Ole Miss Rebels take on the LSU Tigers. There's some bad blood. This is some SEC football going down in Vaught Hemingway Stadium, and it's going to get rowdy. One of my favorite places I've ever been, or teams I've ever watched in person, has been LSU. Ole Miss has been looking good. This is a ranked matchup. This is massive for when you're talking about playoff implications. If you're Ole Miss and you're trying to make a resume for why you should be there at the end of the season, or if you're LSU and you're showing strength of schedule and how you handle business, either way, it's all going to be left out on the field, and you're looking at another game where you have a low risk of weather impact. Overall, this is one component of this. Lower 80s for the air temperature, I think that feels like, because you're going to actually have, some humidity building in. This is going to be upper 80s, lower 90s. That's what it's going to feel like in the heart of the afternoon, 3:30 p.m. But again, for this time of year, for this day, when you're looking at the middle of the afternoon, I think you couldn't ask for better weather for the Tigers or the Rebels. Again, another showdown that's going to be excited, and it's not going to be limited. You're going to see everything on the table as these rivals go toe-to-toe. Here's our final matchup. And if you thought, okay, man, we had a lot of ranked football, we got one more, and we saved the best for maybe last as we go out towards Beaver Stadium, University Park, Pennsylvania at 7:30 p.m. Eastern. This is going to be all about timing here. And what I'll say when we look at all of this is that with the rain expectations coming in, this does not have to be severe. It does not have to be lightning in order to play an impact. Right now, the precipitation impact is close to medium, but when you factor that with the wind and the temperature being minimal, if nothing, the overall average remains low. But something that we will watch is, will there be some rain that starts to move in? I encourage you, we always do podcasts Tuesdays and Wednesdays. This is an early outlook. If this game changes and the risk of weather impact starts to change and budge, we will do a bonus episode closer to kickoff later on this week. Either way, though, it's that 7:30 p.m. Eastern at Beaver Stadium. You got the Ducks, that obviously number 6 in the country, going to the Nittany Lions at number 3, and everything's on the table for this. All I can say is that we have some great football and absolutely great weather overall. Another thing I've been seeing trending on social media, if you have a fall wedding that you have to go to, I apologize, guys, because I know you're going to want to watch it, and maybe just bring the phone to the wedding, and you'll be able to catch all of this action as we'll continue to watch, of course, what will unfold. As of right now, as I told you, what we're following on Fox Weather on the stream, we are watching for the Atlantic, those influences. Will there be any impacts? We're not looking at any impacts this weekend, but will there be some impacts next week? That's something that we'll be looking at as well. So thank you so much for listening to this kind of update of the early outlook for college football week 5. If you're a fan of this, or if you want us to tackle more games, or different type of dynamics that you're saying, hey, what would this do? Would this impact a certain position a little bit more? Do you think they actually change the strategy because of this type of weather pattern? Reach out to us at Fox Weather, or for me, it's at Weather Bender. If you have anything that you want us to cue in on, we will jump into it and dive a little bit deeper. By the way, we always have episodes every Tuesday, Wednesday, and bonus episodes when warranted. Until then, be easy, be weather safe and smart, and we'll see you at the next kickoff.